Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark, Sarah, and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Give us a listen at lydiamediallc.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
Today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. And by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it.
Squatch it!
At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com, and remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
We're being laughed at.
We are being laughed at. That's okay. We're used to it.
Yeah, that's our job, right?
We're entertaining.
Entertainment.
Yes. Our guests in studio from Dirigo Risk Management Solutions, Adam Gormely and Abbe Chabot. How are you guys doing?
Good. Good morning.
Excellent. Adam, I got your name on the first try. I'm very impressed with myself.
Not everyone does.
This is great. We're gonna talk to Adam and Abbe all about Dirigo RMS coming up here in just a bit. But before we get there, let's take a look at some headlines for Thursday, January 16th.
The Sun Journal reports that Maine Housing awarded $2 million to prevent student homelessness in 5 school systems, including Lewiston. The funds will be used to hire housing and homelessness prevention specialists, provide direct financial relief, or secure new housing.
Maine State Representative Laura Libby of Auburn introduced a bill to end the Real ID program in the state. Starting May 7th, anyone looking to fly domestically or enter federal buildings will need a Real ID, passport, or passport card. Libby says Real IDs cost almost twice as much as regular driver's licenses, and personal information entered into a central database could put people's security at risk. 75% of Mainers have yet to acquire a Real ID.
The Lisbon School Department will not renew the contract of Lisbon High School football head coach Chris Cates. The announcement comes after hazing allegations forced the team to forfeit its final 4 games of the 2024 season.
After announcing his plan to retire in July, Turner town manager Kurt Schaub has decided to serve until 2027. Schaub agreed to continue in the role after he and the select board agreed on a 4-day work week.
All right, well, now you go, Kurt Schaub.
Pam, your call.
Still pushing that 4-day work week.
I'll work till 2027, but only 4 days a week. Maine's Forest Byproducts Advanced Manufacturing Tech Hub will receive an additional $22 million in federal funds to position Maine as a global leader in the field. The Tech Hub accelerates the development of new materials and wood products that can bolster industries like housing, eliminate the use of toxic materials, and replace imported plastics and other materials derived from fossil fuels.
The weather.
Here's Pam with the weather.
Cloudy today with a high of 25 and a low of 10. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 29. Rain moves in on Saturday afternoon with high temps approaching 40.
In sports, the Celtics lost to the Toronto Raptors 110-97. Boston will host the Orlando Magic tomorrow night. What's going on over there, Andy?
Oh, my goodness, the Celtics.
You a Celtics fan?
I'm shocked they lost.
Yeah.
So when I was 9, I was going to marry Robert Parrish.
Yeah. All right.
We could have been best friends. I was going to marry Larry Bird.
Yes, and then Kevin McHale.
Yes.
You could have married
Yeah.
Kevin McHale.
I'd take Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm with a Kevin.
They were like the Holy Trinity.
Yes, they were.
Yep.
The big 3.
Yeah.
Did Robert Parrish know that you two were...
He did not, and then he got arrested for cocaine.
Oh, yeah, that
my
wouldn't work
father.
out.
Okay.
My boyfriend, Jeremy Swayman, doesn't know that we're getting married either. So that's,
Don't tell him.
I won't. But the Bruins are going to visit the Ottawa Senators and Lena Solmark on Saturday.
Yes, they are. Ella Levine scored 31 points to lead the CMCC women's basketball team over Massasoit Community College, 94-67. The Mustangs trailed by 1 at halftime and then outscored the Warriors 31-8 in the third quarter.
Go Ella.
I tell you what, that Ella Levine is something.
I'll tell you what, how about those halftime adjustments?
Yeah, made some changes. Came
My
back
goodness,
strong.
yeah.
That's good stuff. Our Maine Nordiques will face off against the Rochester Junior Americans tonight at 7 and tomorrow at 7:30 at the Coliseum.
The NA3 Nordiques host the New Jersey Titans tomorrow at 4 and Saturday at 1 at the Coliseum. And if my math is correct, that means you're going to have the NA3 Nordiques playing at 4 tomorrow and the Maine Nordiques playing at 7:30.
Yep. On our high school scoreboard in girls basketball, it was Spruce Mountain over Lisbon, 88-20.
In boys hockey, St. Dom's all over Edward Little, 5-1.
And in girls hockey, it was Biddeford, Thornton, Wells, Kennebunk 4 over Lewiston, Oak Hill, and Mount Ararat Morses 2. And then Edward Little, Levitt, Poland, Monmouth beat St. Dom's 5-2.
That is your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is...
Sweeping!
Well, maybe not today.
Not today.
Was it not good today? I didn't take a look.
Time for famous people birthdays.
Rough list.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for January the 16th, shall we?
There's nobody on it.
There's like one that's notable that we should mention, but there are a
Okay.
couple others that people may know.
Oh,
Supermodel Kate Moss is 51 years old today. You know she's a supermodel because of the cape.
I was thinking it was because of her size 0 frame.
How does that make her super, though?
Super skinny.
There you go. Yeah. She took in $9.2 million in a year being a supermodel.
It's hard work.
It is hard work.
Not
it's
eating must save her so much money.
Yeah, she was a big Calvin Klein model back in the 90s. Country singer Ronnie Millsap is 82 years old today. Remember his big tune, Smoky Mountain Rain? Anybody remember that one?
I don't.
Yeah. What about...
Can you just hum it?
No, he can't.
That's pretty good.
I feel like that was all right. I'm still not getting it. Keep going.
How about this?
No.
I'm totally following that.
No.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Totally.
just
Thank
not.
You're
you.
right on par. Right? Exactly.
Also,
Maybe if you just kept going a little longer, I might. No.
So I
trying
gotta
to get his girl back, wasn't he? That's the whole theme of the song.
that's right. I was just about to get to that
Right.
part. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to add Sade. Remember Sade? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah. Smooth operator. How did I miss her?
Yeah.
All right. She's
Awesome song.
66 today.
Jeez, where does that go?
Oof, I don't know.
66. Wow. Yeah.
And rounding out FPBs for January the 16th is director John Carpenter. 77 years old today. He directed the Halloween films, the original ones, Escape from New York, The Thing,
Oh.
Christine, Stephen King's Christine back in the 80s.
Christine, okay. So
Yeah.
is Halloween the one that has the music that makes you feel like you're going to jump out of your seat before anything even happens?
Isn't that all horror movies?
I think that's the intention.
Yeah, but I feel like it's Halloween has like it's just like
Yeah.
That's the one with that sort of iconic, like that tinkling music.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Yes.
Right before.
Wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis? Wasn't she
Yeah.
that?
Abby, could you hum that for us, maybe?
She's like, what?
I don't. Humming is not one of my.
I just thought we were on a,
Well, I give
we're
her
on
a
a
C
roll
minus
today.
on humming, but you can sing it. I moved that to a B
bad.
plus. That was my good balance.
Wow. Even the stabbing motions and everything. That was accurate.
Was that Michael Myers? What was the?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Sure was. This edition of FPBs went on about 4 minutes longer than it should have.
Sure did.
And with apologies, we will let you know that that was it.
That's it. Listen,
FPBs.
every moment of you humming Smoky Mountain Rain was pure perfection.
What are the chances he's going to put any of that in?
Probably not, but I'm
Oh,
just
I'll put
saying.
it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Okay, thanks.
I'm very proud of you.
It's like radio gold.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
Oh, I was following.
Those are your FPBs for January the 16th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Don't miss the January issue of Uncle Andy's Digest, featuring Greater Lewiston Auburn's 30th annual Best Businesses for 2024, plus a Valentine's Day gift guide, events calendar, shout-outs, and plenty of one-liners and jokes guaranteed to put a smile on your face. And be sure to visit UncleAndys.com and enter to win the Sweethearts Contest. You and your sweetie will appear in the February issue and could win a Valentine's Day gift basket. Uncle Andy's Digest, your local guide to, well, just about anything. Now we shift focus fully to our guests in studio, Adam Gormely and Abbe Chabot of Dirigo Risk Management Solutions. Who wants to tell us what Dirigo Risk Management Solutions is all about?
I
And that
would
is
love
Abbe.
to tell you
So
what
my
Dirigo Risk
instincts were
Management.
correct.
Get it,
A
Abby.
little bit of an extrovert over here. 6 years ago, a gentleman by the name of Scott Maddox, who had retired from Portland Police Department and gone on to law school, had started a company geared really towards traffic safety, to include the cessation of underage drinking and OUI investigations. About 2 years ago, he started a company called Dirigo Risk Management Solutions. So we're sort of like the baby company underneath that Dirigo Safety Company that is 6 years old. We're over across from Gritty's right here in town. And Dirigo Risk Management Solutions is a company specifically geared towards empowering and bringing confidence to citizens, communities, and companies locally, but also nationally, to empower them against violence.
And how did you get into this line of work?
Crazy. So
Crazy story or you yourself?
all crazy. Yes. We
Adam
know each
jumped
other
in there
so
real
well
quick.
already, Mark.
I think Adam is like the Pam of the crew. He's got the sniper. He's the sniper.
So I retired from the Maine State Police in 2022, and I loved that career, being a public servant, and in particular serving Mainers was just one of the greatest gifts I ever could have been afforded. I'm a masshole by nature. Can I say masshole?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Say whatever you want.
And when I found what the culture and what the people and what the values and mores were of Mainers, I just kind of fell in love. I also fell in love with my husband here, and I think that career was so reciprocal in the sense that every interaction that I had, good or bad, meaning a police officer has to arrest somebody, it can still be one of dignity and respect and upholding the law. And what a virtue and what a value it was to experience that. So when I retired, I didn't know what I was going to do. I waitressed locally at 84 Court with Anka Sully for a little
Big
while.
shout out there. Good food.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because I invented ADHD, I needed a little bit more to do during the course of a day. And at that time, Scott Maddox had reached out to me and asked me to come to work for the parent company. And that quickly evolved into working with risk management solutions to really empower citizens to understand things like emergency preparedness and how to walk from your car to the shopping center, or how to conduct your daily life with skills that are going to reduce the likelihood that you will be a victim of violence. We know in America, thousands and thousands of people will be victimized every day. There's so much that we can do as a citizen, a company, or a community to make sure that it's not us.
And a lot of people don't think of those things until it happens to them, right? So it's a
Correct.
afterthought. So it's nice to, have that knowledge and education before so that you're better prepared.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
it can be really simplistic, or we can help a company enroll major steps in a large-scale emergency plan that has everything to do with intensive site assessments or a reboot of their environmental design. It can also be as simple as giving a coworker information that they can then go home and give to their kids and their spouse and say, these few little tricks are going to greatly reduce the fact that you will experience trauma from a stranger or from a violent incident.
Yeah. And Abbe, how long have you been in this industry?
I started at Dirigo 2 years ago.
And Adam Gormley, Senior Sales Executive.
Well, thanks for having us first.
Absolutely.
Very, very impressive here. This is quite an operation.
It's all Pam.
Thanks.
Yeah, we just show up.
Show up.
Hey, look, that's even better.
I
That is a
literally
fat
roll in
lie.
the door, pat the dogs, and sit down.
my kind of place.
Adam, give us a little bit of your history
Yeah,
and
sure.
how you ended up at Dirigo.
So for me, my whole life has been spent really singly focused. I was going to be a game warden from an early age.
Me
Right.
too.
So, right. It's awesome. I tried once, twice, 3 times. They hired me, sent me to Kittery. I stopped a little bit at Waterville, went to Moosehead. Was the Moosehead game warden for a dozen years there. My wife and I had 3 boys there. I took a sergeant spot there. Did that for a little while, threw my name in for the LT spot down in southern Maine. And they trick you with that idea of a promotion, right? Right? Hey, welcome. The best part about being lieutenant is when you get to call your father and say, hey, Dad, I made LT. And then from there... Well, I was in the office, right? So, I mean, game wardens were supposed to be outside. So I came down to the southern part of the state, and I managed the southern part. Abby didn't share this, but Abby and I would often work together. In Maine, if you're lost in the woods, the warden service is going to come find you. Well, if there's a homicide in the woods, the warden service is going to help the state police. Abby really led the canine team in a lot of ways with her cadaver work on the Maine State Police. So we would show up in the command post, as she refers to our relationship. What do you call it? A sir, yes, sir?
Yeah, so it used to be when I would see Adam at the command post, he would be the commander, and I would go there with my canine, and I would get my assignment to search a grid of land, and I would say, sir, yes, sir. And I would go out into the woods and do that, and Adam would sit in the command post and eat all of, like, the good food that the community...
Never drink coffee at the command post.
So talking about how beautiful Maine communities are, a command post, all the citizens around would rally. All the churches or religious institutions, local businesses would all contribute to the effort to find this lost or missing person. So you got, like, Meme's 80-year-old lasagna recipe that she's going to die with the secret, and somebody else is smoking
Excellent,
ribs.
by the way.
And when I got out of the woods, usually what was left were those no-brand crackers with crusty peanut butter in them. And
You needed a man on the inside to put something aside for you.
You had plenty
well,
of
I
little
had
Debbies.
a man on the inside.
Little Debbie's, there was like a pile of them. Did you salute me in the woods? Like when you went in the woods?
He's making fun of me. He's making fun of the state police because we're very professional.
Oh.
They would salute a lot.
We would.
We weren't into saluting. So anyhow, I digress.
They fit right in.
I know.
We go
like
off
you
track
guys.
so many times. All right.
I'm literally going through my emails, and I see this Dirigo safety email, like, come train with us. And I thought, what is that? So I call up Scott Maddox at the time, and this is just a little before COVID. And I said, hey, can I teach for you guys? And he said, well, what do you teach? And I said, well, what do you need? And he goes, I don't know, could you build a performance management class? And I thought, if I can build a performance management class and actually succeed, then I have a chance. So I did, and I built that class, and I taught it a few times. And then COVID kind of came, and as you know, it shut the world down. But then it started opening back up, and on a Tuesday, Scott said, hey, would you like to come work for us full time? And I thought, 27 years in the warden service, it was time. So about that time, we come over, and he says, look, let's take everything that we're really good at doing on law enforcement, and let's bring that to the rest of the world. So that's when Risk Management Solutions started. Shortly after that, we're able to capture Abbe and bring her on board. And it's been an explosion, because what we're trying to do is save citizens. We're still public servants, and we still want to give back to people. We want to show them, like, hey, if there's an active shooter, we're going to show you how you can do a few things and increase your chance of survival, right? We want to teach you. We want to work with the challenges of businesses and say, we understand that. Let's make a custom training for you so your team can win. And that's what that's what we get to do, right? We often say we don't have to work at Dirigo, we get to. And it's a cool job, because it gives us that chance. We're at Sugarloaf a couple weeks ago, and we're training their team what to do and how do you respond
In an emergency active shooter situation.
Yeah. And how do you get through that? And what are some really basic skills that you can do to increase your chances of surviving.
Right. Important, and like I said, you
Relevant.
don't want to think about it after the fact.
Right.
You know, we
If you
all
looked
know
at it
that.
right, if you looked at our plan, we're really heavy in the preparation, right? So we're prepare, decide, survive. But so much of that, why would we start our training when the threat was in the building? Why wouldn't we start looking at your systems and decide, like, hey, if you do these 3 or 4 things, you could keep the threat out. So
Well, and you guys help too, because I assume it's not really a cookie cutter thing. Like
No.
what we would need to
Everything's
do is
different.
different than someone on the 7th floor would need to do
Absolutely.
in something like that. So it's very different for every business.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting about that is because we are a small company with a dual mission, we have to keep the lights on just like everybody else, but we have the opportunity to work for a company and for a boss whose singular intention day in and day out is to simply do good. When I was at the tail end of my career with the Maine State Police, we were also going through nationally Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and defund the police. But in light of that sort of cultural shift, that all of a sudden it is time to reevaluate law enforcement and it's time for policy and procedural review of law enforcement nationally, so many of us who, quote unquote, bled blue and would never leave a phone call unanswered if a citizen needed you, it was confusing. And it was disheartening because so much of my personal motivation and passion for the work was because I had been raised that if you need help, a police officer will always help you.
Right.
So it was so appropriate that when the opportunity came to work for Dirigo Risk Management Solutions, all of a sudden I'm in a position where not only can I do things like the She Leads class, which is a leadership legacy program for women, or I could do our preparedness training, our situational awareness training, or our soon-to-be trademark Prepare, Decide, Survive training, and conjoin communities with police, because that is the singular way that we will protect ourselves from violent events. We will never know what the intention of someone who wishes to perpetrate violence is, but there is so much that we can do collectively in the preparation and in decision making to make sure that it is not us. And to do that when we have a community that now is unfortunately so trauma informed, really sort of brings us all together in a way that's so organic and so fruitful, and really makes me think that I am just like the luckiest princess in the world that I get 2 amazing careers. What a blessing.
And you can tell, just like when you enter a room, that you're excited about what you do and you love to do it and you want to do it, and for the main purpose of helping people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've trained thousands of people at this point at Dirigo Risk Management. We're a young company, but we're a busy company, and we're a company that the more clients we have, the more we want to work, because it just feels so good. And we have clients that will cry and they'll say, I just want more, or I believe you gave me the information that will save my life.
we don't value our worth here in dollars. I mean, we truly still are the public servant. And for me, my 3 boys, they're all now in law enforcement. 2 of them are Maine game wardens, and one's a police officer in Lisbon. So the legacy and the worries and the fears and everything that public servant, for me, it still lives on.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to work with a company, and you said it best, customize that piece. Let us come look at you and your space, because let's face it, this organization right here would look different than, maybe the Walmart distribution
Right.
center.
Yeah.
So that customizable piece, and one big shout out, and maybe you guys have talked with them, but the Maine Workforce Development Compact, it's an Alphon sponsored program. Well, their mission is to truly cut the training costs in half. So we partnered with them. We're an approved vendor with them, but just another group of Mainers trying to understand that how do we train And their mission truly is to train frontline supervisors in a whole bunch of things. De-escalation or active shooter is just one of them.
That's great, because as we know, small businesses, what did Shanna say the other day? Like 70% of businesses in our area or in Maine are small businesses with 10 or less employees.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, thinking about, obviously it's a very important thing to have and be trained in, but when you're looking at your bottom line and you're just struggling to keep your head above water, it's one of those things that you think about. So with the opportunity for the
Maine Workforce Compact. It's
to
easy to find.
Alleviate that a little bit for small businesses is so amazing.
It's a great program.
Yeah.
And alternately, in order to accommodate Shanna's determination that 70% of Maine companies are small businesses, we have partnered with the chamber and other chambers throughout the state, and additionally have our own training room where we can bring in representatives of each small company, and we can do it at a reduced rate coupled with the Alpha on Workforce Grant. And this information is repeatable. We can be a force multiplier because I can train Mark and then he can train Sarah. And then Sarah can go home and give the information to Jeremy. And it is so valuable.
My boyfriend, Jeremy Swayman.
Hi,
Jeremy.
Jeremy. What's up, buddy?
What up, dude?
Wait, and I want to back up. Is Mark trainable?
That's,
So it would seem.
I defer to you two on that.
So it would seem.
He's a prospective client. Of
You
course
told
he
me
is.
to practice my jokes.
I'm taking a beating this morning.
You didn't know we created a monster.
That's okay. It's all right. I'm here for it.
He's got thick skin. It's fine.
Who are some of your clients? Who's seeking out your services?
Well, it's funny because, we get that question, like, what's an ideal customer for you? And, one of the responses is truly, I'm not trying to just be, I don't know what you'd call it, but everyone.
Right.
Right? I mean, we were at Sugarloaf, and one of the CEOs there, the general manager, said, Adam, this is great training, but how are we going to train everyone on the mountain? And I said, well, we're going to train them on the mountain by going to Agron Appliance, by going to Lydia Media, by going to all these other places because they ski on your mountain. These are transferable skills,
Yeah.
right? So we want to train you what to do in your business, what to do when you're getting on the elevator, and what are you going to do when you're at a bowling alley? What are you going to do when you're at a ski lift? That's how we do it. So, we never want money or objections or how are we going to pay for this to get in the way. Let's come up with a plan. Let's look at some alternatives. And if you are a citizen, look, you gotta know what to do.
I like that you're creating creative ways for the general public where people can come in and do a generalized training and then go back and refer that information to
They can
others.
adapt to their environment, and they can look at their workspace renewed with the simple concepts that we have given them. And there's a reason why an emergency room nurse at Central Maine can give life-saving CPR within 10 or 15 seconds notice, save that person, and then move on to do another task in their job. And it's because they have repeated that skill set and that training to the extent that they can overcome things like the adrenaline dump and the increased heart rate and the reduced blood circulation. And that is the same thing that police officers are taught in our response to crisis situations. And we know that regular people are not police officers, and we know that they will not learn under the low crawl tactic and the smoke bombs and the loud bangs and firearms everywhere. So we cater and customize that because we know who our client is. And when your client, under the auspices of doing good, is people, the sky's really the limit.
Yeah,
We've taught
great.
entire school districts. We have a loud and proud supporter in the city of Auburn. We've trained their entire municipal staff in preparedness and active shooter response. In addition, we've trained companies like Tyler Technologies and Bath Iron Works. We are currently in 11 states, and we have a personal initiative this year to increase that to 25 states in 2025.
Oh, nice. Good goal.
It's only a plane ride. And, for us to be able to break down some real common examples, we're training in one group, and there was a door that said, "Do not open, alarm will sound." So I said, okay, honest hour, who here has opened the door? It gets worse. Not only did no one ever open the door, I said, who knows what's behind the door? No one. They didn't know if it opened up into an alley, if there was trash. They didn't know if the door wasn't welded shut. So what that teaches us is in the crisis, in an emergency, no one's going out that door. I mean, why do we think the flight attendant at the front of the airplane says, look behind you, your closest exit may be behind you?
Right.
We're trying to break that pattern. I want you to open that door. I love the panic buttons. I went to one, and she said, the panic button's right here. I literally watched the wire to 2 dead wires from the site. It didn't go anywhere. It was cut. We want to come in and look at that stuff. We want to talk with you. We want to help you develop a plan and start to question some of these norms. It doesn't have to be a great big massive plan with 75 pages. Can you look to see if your doors are wedged open? Can you look to see if your door actually closes, opens properly?
Yeah, just the basics is,
Sometimes
really.
where you can go from, a really high risk to a reasonably low risk just by closing the door.
It's just about reducing vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
And I happen to be the person who has to exercise great restraint, because if it says do not do something, I want to do it twice. The fire alarms, I feel like they subliminally I just want to grab it and pull it and see.
Abby has intrusive thoughts.
I do, lots of them. Right now I'm having
Run. This would be a good opportunity.
It's funny. I was thinking about my other office where I work. We have doors that no one's ever opened. We have a stairwell that some people have said I didn't know where that went, because I do the onboarding and orientation. And sometimes it's not within the first few days of them being there. It's usually like they get their, there's their manager, and then they get me. And I've introduced people to the fact that this is your secondary exit, and this is an emergency exit, and it goes out into the parking lot. And people don't know that. They've been there for a week or more, and they don't know how to get out of the building other than through the front door.
Correct. So those are called neural imprints, right? We come in the same door we always come in. I get excited when I can park in the same spot every time I go to Hannaford. I get excited. That's titillating to me to do that, because we like comfort, we like routine, and we like to know what's coming next. If you recall the pandemic and those little blue feet that were on every carpet at the bank, and that denoted that you're supposed to stand 6 feet away from the next client or the client in front of you. If you think about it, and you were to go to one of our banks today, you would see people standing 6 feet apart, when for 200 years culture has dictated that common space is about 2.5 feet apart. That's a healthy conversational space. And we've literally changed history. We have literally now taught people to stand 6 feet apart, and it is our job, meaning Adam and I and the staff at Dirigo Risk Management Solutions, to teach people that they can create a neural imprint that is situationally aware, that is cognizant of our surroundings, and that doesn't increase our daily stress. It actually gives us confidence. And it comes from a trauma-informed perspective. And it comes from a perspective that we're Americans with liberty, and it is our job to experience that and really rejoice in that proudly. However, we can't do it blindly anymore.
Right.
Why would you, and I want you to watch for this now. So in your everyday life, you're getting on and off elevators somewhere, right? Why would you get on or off an elevator before that door completely opens and you look in to decide whether you're going to get in that threat? And just this past week, I met a woman's coming off the elevator. She's on her phone. She bumps into me.
Yeah.
She's on her phone, and she's already in my space. It's too late. She's on the wrong floor, and she looks up and she goes, "What? Oh, this isn't the first floor. Too late. You're already inside. I already have you. bumping on and off that elevator with people. I want you to make sure the elevator is not getting up or down any sooner.
Yeah.
Let that door completely open and just look in and think, am I riding this with that? Because the penalty for being wrong is you might have to take the stairs, or you might have to wait for that elevator to go up and clear that. It doesn't mean they're a threat, but are you going to make that decision?
Yeah.
Right.
That's something
Without all
right.
the information.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wait.
Yeah.
Yep.
But nope, we're on our phone, we're on that threat, and the door's closed before we realize it. Look, pay attention. That's what we're trying to get the message. One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom either. I had mentioned earlier our She Leads program.
Great program.
And that is one we will soon be hosting. It talks about the fact that women leaders have traditionally been kind of, okay, well, we need one woman at the table. So which woman is that going to be? And that would have created a competition, when in reality, it is all of us together that now we're entering the workforce. In the 1950s, that was very unusual. Corporate America at its onset post-World War II, that was very unusual. And now it's not unusual. There are women at every table, and it's about enhancing that, and it's about developing our legacy leadership. So a good example of this is I was talking to one of the instructors the other day. This is a 3-day class or a 1-day class. And one of the instructors said, Abbe, when I decided to go from teaching to working at the superintendent's office in administration, my parents said to me, why would you do that? You have the best schedule to raise your 2 babies. You have it made. Why would you do that? Alternately, her brother, who was her twin, and her also a teacher, was thinking about switching careers entirely and going into corporate America, and they celebrated that. It's not gender bias, it's not ill-intended, but it is changing those cultural mores to show, hey, why don't you come with me? I'm headed high. And we can do that collectively as women and as men to create really healthy and productive workforces.
Adam's example about the elevator was fantastic. I was wondering if you could share some other examples for individuals to keep themselves safer and to be more aware of their surroundings.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of my favorites is that she was talking about it. But let's do this. Let's go to Shop and Save right up here, and let's park in the area that says, I'm going to get my groceries. They're going to bring them out. I'm going to open up my trunk because that's where I told them, and I'll just sit on my phone and tell the whole world I'm just about to receive copious amounts of goods, and I'm not paying attention. I have no idea who's around me. My car is unlocked. Why would you do that?
So while you're looking to see what outfit Taylor Swift wore on her date with Travis Kelce, you've got your car running, you're in spot number 7, which is your favorite Hannaford to-go spot. Your hatch is open, and you're there every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Well, so is that guy who wants your pocketbook. And we don't live in that society anymore, and we can lament that, and that's not great. As public servants, we would love to not have any work to do, right? But the reality is, if we are not aware that somebody is casing our vehicle or looking to see if we leave our pocketbook in our front seat, or if we decide to do our groceries ourselves, but we're on our phone because we're trying to plan dinner, we're trying to locate our kids to see if they're done practice or not, we've had a stressful day, we're not feeling well, we've got to start our second shift, which is dinner, homework, chores, marriage, and those things preoccupy us to the extent that we're more vulnerable. And people who wish to perpetrate violence are just as smart as anyone else. And they will look for those vulnerabilities with who knows what intention.
Make some decisions. We make our mind up on, really, if 10 clues told the whole story, we make our mind up on 2 clues. Oh, he's pulled over on the side of the road. Oh, he has a hard hat in the back. He must be an engineer. He's fine. Well, that may or may not be true.
Right.
Spend just a few more minutes and look to see why, as a game warden, I would pull over on the side of the road. If I put my hand up, not even on the phone, if I went like this, That answered to everybody driving by why I'm pulled over. I'm pulled over because I'm looking down here and I want to see something. Oh, the game warden. If I walked across the field without something, oh, he's after somebody. If I picked up a stick, oh, he's hunting.
They make their assumptions.
They're making their assumption on 2 clues.
Yeah.
Spend a little bit more time. Understand, why is that person parked there? Is that a threat or not? And oftentimes, you being wrong, there's no consequence.
Right.
You've just waited. You've watched. Why would you drive around with your door open, with your door unlocked? Lock your door. If someone's going to try to get you at a stoplight, he can't get in. Keep going. It's things like that.
Alternately, my favorite one, because this is just so easy to do, and when we're raising our children to function alone as adults in society and they learn to drive, the easiest thing you can do on the daily to save yourself from a potential violence is to park outward facing. Back into your parking spots, because in times of crisis when you may need to evacuate and evacuate quickly, it doesn't matter if it's a natural disaster or if it's a violent situation or incident or a fire in your building. We lose our fine motor skills as our body retreats into the fight, flight, or freeze mentality. We drop back to our amygdala, which is our life-saving animalistic preservation mode, as opposed to our frontal cortex, where we actually conduct logical thought process. If you think about the fact that everybody at 2 Great Falls Plaza might try to leave this parking lot at the exact same second, we greatly increase our personal chances, because we can only be responsible for ourselves in that instance if we're outward facing. It takes 2 seconds to do that, and it gives us 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds on the other side.
Wow.
Interesting.
And everybody's got the cameras now. So
Everybody's
it's so
got
easy,
the cameras
right?
now.
It's so
Correct.
easy now. Yeah. This has been fascinating.
Yeah.
Anything else about Dirigo RMS that either of you would like to tell our listeners?
So much. I mean, I just think I really appreciate the opportunity to talk. And I think the more that we talk and get the word out, talk with us. We want a relationship with the citizens. Hey, look, we live here in Lewiston, Auburn, right? That hurts. And there are ways that we can do better, and we want to be able to help you. And we never want a dollar sign to stand between what you can do to save yourself. So just reach out to
I was
us.
gonna say,
We're looking for
give you
solutions.
a call, shoot you an email, and just
Yeah.
open up a discussion to
Let's
about.
talk.
Yeah.
Get that dialogue
That's
going.
great.
Yeah, we're at DirigoRiskManagementSolutions.com, and we are around all the time. What I would like the entire universe to know about Dirigo Risk Management Solutions is that I am not the one who put the whoopee cushions in the CEO's office. I am not the one that put stickers throughout the office, and I am not the one who put pictures of pretty cats in all the printer paper.
I don't know who
Now
did.
it's on record.
Why would
Yeah.
anyone do any of those
I
things?
should
don't
have been
know who
cat
did it,
bears.
but
There's only one thing I know about that. I honestly don't know who did it either, but I know who didn't.
Yeah, it's
That-
Abby.
That's reasonably assuring for me, because I know who did not do any of that. But I'm
Yeah.
not saying, I'm neither confirming nor denying that those events have or have not happened.
thank you.
All right.
Just from talking to you guys for the last half hour, I have a feeling your trainings are very dynamic and interactive and probably even a little bit fun.
So I was a homicide detective for a long time, and I was an interview-heavy homicide detective. I did not collect evidence because I don't want to vacuum my carpet, much less anybody else's carpet, for trace evidence. In that, you really get to know what makes people tick, what makes them comfortable, and we know that people talk to people that they like, and people will hear people that they like. And when you're like Adam and I, remember I used to say, "Sir, yes, sir."
I think you should try that again, though. Just a little, not like a lot. But go ahead. Yeah, just maybe.
Well, now
small.
I draw smiley faces on his head with a Sharpie.
That may or may not be true as well. That was a serious period of growth for me. But anyhow, go ahead.
But we are two people who truly love people.
Yeah, that's right.
And our instructors truly love people. And our CEO is adamant. I mean, we all know the police officer or the accountant or the inspector or the person who's checking us out at the grocery store that has that real affable and friendly customer service-based demeanor. Alternately, we know the other side of that too, and the one that we don't want to go to. Our boss has put great measures in place to measure the fact that he wants to hire the public servant who understands that it is a blissful opportunity to serve people. That is such a gift, and it's such a great thing in our country to give that. Those are the people he hires. So the people in front of the room in our trainings are people who want to be there and nowhere else, love people, love upholding the law, and love making people feel more confident and more powerful to live, again, their American God-given life. I'm going to punch you.
No, that's good. No, I'm crying. Genuinely, it's the truth.
It is true.
It's
It
just
is
how we
true.
feel. I mean, I love that because it's spot on. We do tease each other, but her more me. But it's the. Can we just be real? Can we talk about some things that are tough, but yet have some empathy? It's okay. That's what makes us.
And have some fun.
Yeah, everyone's there says go team. I say go T because it's cool. You should.
I have a difficult question, though.
Yeah.
Do you love people more than you love dogs?
Oh,
I do not.
no.
That's not a hard question
Does
for Adam
anyone?
at all.
Does anyone?
Adam.
Weirdos.
Uh-oh.
So I have a baby mastiff,
Oh.
and she is 190 pounds of
Nothing baby about
absolute
that
Should
thing.
have
pure
brought her
love.
Look at Pam's face.
I wanted a Mastiff forever.
It's a
Oh,
large.
But I
she's
was
just a
like-
dream come true. If you could have said, Abby, you can win the Powerball or win your baby mastiff Sunday, I would choose Sunday, and I would be right. She's amazing. But Adam takes one look at her, and he starts to drool. He starts to perspirate.
Adam drools?
Thinking about that creature. That is what I mean. I never really knew what a mastiff was until I saw it, and then when she tells me it's a small mastiff,
They're giant
and this thing
love
is,
bugs.
I mean, it's 1.7 million pounds. It is as big as this room.
Yeah,
and
she's a runt.
I know you said that, and I
Yes.
think, man, because it's very Sunday is the dog's name, very docile. I don't touch Sunday, but very docile. But I get an idea that thing, when it wants to protect Abby, there'd be little decision about who's touching Abby.
Yeah.
No one. I don't know.
That's true.
We have a dog. Kim has a dog, and it's a nice dog.
Is Kim the love of your life?
Kim is the actual love
She's
of my
so
life.
pretty.
She is just my best friend, truly. But
If I ask Adam sometimes, I'm like, hey, what are you doing after work? He's like, I'm going to try and get Kim to make out with me.
there is that occasion. We've been married 28.
Does it ever work?
Back in 97, I think we made up.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston-Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at LLC.com. It feels like they're doing their own 3 random
They
questions.
should have their own podcast.
Oh yeah, three random
Oh, yeah,
questions.
sorry.
Do we get to answer the questions?
Yes.
Or?
You
Yeah,
do. You do.
Would you like us
actually.
to ask them, or would you like to ask them?
asked one already.
Okay,
but-
good.
You guys can keep talking amongst yourselves. That's totally fine too.
Oh, good. We have the rest of the day. Have we met?
Who are you guys?
You look.
All right. 3 random questions
Yes, sir.
with Adam and Abby from Dirigo Risk Management Solutions. Abby, we'll start with you.
Okay.
If you could have lunch with any fictional character, who would it be and why?
I think probably Toothless from that movie. Remember that weird movie, that How to Train Your
Yes.
Dragon?
was
God,
so
those
good.
eyes. Yeah. I'm like, if I only had a dragon, so many cool things would happen.
Right? Yeah,
You know,
I'm with
like
you.
you could ride him and
That
you
is
could
a
pet
Sarah
him.
answer. If
Yeah.
And remember,
It is, isn't it?
Sarah, remember how he goes and he puts his hand out like
Yeah,
this,
and
and
he's
Toothless
like,
is so wary and so concerned because
so
two different
trusting,
species.
though. Yeah, yeah.
But he gives a shot, and they both come together, and then the relationship.
Yeah,
That's
he builds
my
him.
answer.
He builds him his wing, and he helps him fly. Oh,
That's great.
Yep.
All right, Adam, top that.
Check, please. Who would I go see? You know what? Boy, it might be Andy. Andy from Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Toy Story.
No, you know what though?
that's a good
That
answer.
dude has
too.
some confidence issues. Get over it. Get a time. Hey, Andy, I got to tell you, you're relevant, just like the rest of us for a short period. You got a shelf life, Andy. Get over it. I know I might go back and see Andy from Shawshank Redemption. You know, I mean, he had his stuff together, was falsely accused, but had a plan. Man, that guy.
Yeah.
And he executed it.
Very admirably.
Very manly guy.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Yep.
Coming out with a sequel, they said, with that Shawshank Redemption.
Because they can't come up with any other movie ideas.
I know.
That's a classic. Don't mess with
Yeah.
it.
I know.
Yep.
Shawshank.
All right, who's next?
I have one. I'll start with Adam.
Okay, good.
I assume that you guys have had nicknames throughout your career. What is your favorite nickname that you've been given?
Ed Gromlix. That was my favorite name.
Where did that come from?
I had
Is there an
been,
explanation?
yep, I had been a game warden for 3 or 4 years, and it's a small community in Greenville. And the woman called up the store owner, and there was a problem. You have to register deer and stuff. So there was a problem. I said, well, just put my name, Marie, down by the violation, and that way I'll be able to see it. So I go up there, and I'm big and proud, and everyone knows who I am. I'm the game warden. I get up there, and it said, "Problem okayed by Warden Ed Gromlix." And I thought, well, then Ed Gromlix started to show up. We'd be on a search. Back when I first started that team, you had to record everyone's volunteer's name, and Jim Fahey, and all of a sudden, 751st person on this name that I'm typing in, because we had one computer, would be Ed Gromlix. Right? It just never ended. My father would call me Ed. So that would be mine. Ed Gromlix would be my favorite.
Okay. And Abby?
So I have like 19, I think, that people have used, but I guess I think my favorite was so obviously my voice is a thing, so it's weird that I'm on radio talking, but these old like hairy troopers that had like 40 years on decided to start calling me Agent 99. What is that from? Is it from Get
Smart?
Yeah, so Get Smart. So apparently
Get
there's
Smart.
some annoying voiced female agent, and they decided to. And I took it like as a passive aggressive dig, but then I thought that they sucked at it because I'm like, I wasn't even born when that show was on.
And how
Chaos.
serendipitous, because this is our 99th podcast
Agent
episode.
99.
Gosh,
Things
the
happen
universe.
for
Wow.
reasons.
Nice.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh.
All right, Pam, you are up.
Do you have a favorite quote or saying?
Oh.
Something that you, like a response that you say a lot, or a quote
I do.
that you like?
So Gordon Graham was a big police guy. He started a big police organization. He said, if it's predictable, it's preventable. And I love that because it fits into what we do here. If you know something's going to happen, do something about it, right? Just don't let it eventually find you.
Or if you know something that could happen.
Right, yeah. I mean, hey, let's try to reduce our risk. So it's if it's predictable, it's preventable. It's
I
mine.
like it.
Yeah. I had a few. I mean, I like Bundale, Save. I like all things basementy.
That's a really good one.
T.C. Hafford.
I like Lego my ego, like all kind,
Oh.
like just prophetic
Mark.
comment.
Lego my ego.
I go.
Well, we were trying to brand
right?
some things back then, and you had come up with some good ones like
Yeah.
a little dab will do
like-
you, or let go my ego.
Yeah,
And,
do a dollop of training.
yeah, just do it. Those
Just
were-
do it. That was a big one.
She likes commercials.
Oh, those
Well, we were
things-
trying to come up, so we have
Yeah.
this soon-to-be trademark program called Prepare, Decide, Survive, and our CEO had decided we needed some sort of acronym or slogan that was catchy. And so I thought Bundle Save was,
It was my first vote.
yeah, just do it.
Just do it was a second good one. Let go of my ego.
There might be a huge corporation that has a problem with you using just
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, so it didn't make it past legal.
Yeah.
No, they poo-pooed it a bit,
Definitely check in with them on those sorts of things.
Will do, Sarah.
Even the Lego My Ego might be a little bit.
She modified let go of my training.
Oh,
So I thought it might anyhow.
give it a go. You never know.
Adam and Abby, this has been so much fun.
Thank you, guys.
And
Thank you, guys.
educational and
Yeah.
informative. And thank you so much for being here and spending part of your morning with us.
It was
Awesome.
so awesome to meet you guys. It was a great morning.
We
and
really
thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com. Thanks for listening. That is you.
To me, like a Mario. To me.
We'll catch you tomorrow.